Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Joe Thunder back once again with another episode of the Smoking Joe Thunder podcast. Want to thank all y'all for listening, subscribing, sharing, and just, keeping this culture here in Denver, Colorado alive. Real quick shout out to our official sponsor, bgood Dispensaries over there on 11 West Hampton. And if you're up north, you can find them on 120th across the highway from Boondocks. Quick shout out to the homie Elvis. He can't make it here today, but we got to keep it pushing, and we got another banger for you. I got a very special guest in the building. She is a promoter. She's a, marketing consultant?
Yes.
She's just a motherfucking hip-hop head. We got motherfucking Lizzy Brodie in the motherfucking building. How you doing?
I'm excellent. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's kind of late. It's kind of cold.
Oh, man. I'm a mom. I'm like, yeah, I get out the house late.
You're
sure,
ready
put
to
the
get
baby
out,
to
right?
bed. Okay. See you, bye.
There you go. I'll be out. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. You brought your little party accessories?
I did a little Crown Apple.
Keep you warm? It is kind of cold out there.
It does keep me warm. I typically like to drink dark in the winter.
Dark in the winter? What's your favorite?
Well,
do you have a favorite?
I mean, my favorite liquor that I like to drink is I'm not going to lie, Peach Ciroc is probably my favorite. On ice, no mixer. I love me some Crown Apple. I do love me some Hennessy. It's hard to knock it. I'm like an OG with it. I've been drinking it forever.
What do you drink your Hennessy with?
I drink it straight.
Oh, that's what you're just saying. You don't really like to mix.
No
Why
mixer, because I don't need all that extra sugar. The older I've gotten, realized if I want a less of a hangover or even no hangover, do not mix the cranberry, the fucking pineapple, the soda into your liquor. Don't drink that shit all night with your liquor.
I never knew that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, yeah, I'm like, nah, just give it to me straight.
I was
sip this like a grown woman is good.
I was always told take a couple, ibuprofens, drink a big glass of water, and you'll be straight in the morning. But
yeah, I mean,
I think that's when you're 20. That shit don't work no more for me. Shit, I'll be out for like 3 days. You know what I mean?
I know. You learn to pace yourself for sure. I mean, I love to have me some cocktails and everything, but.
I was going to tell you, I know you don't try mixers, but you need to try Hennessy and apple juice sometime.
I mean, I bet that would probably
That's
be
just
good.
bomb.
Okay.
My homie back in the day, Dez, R.I.P., showed me that shit. And he used to get those little apple, the little ones that look like an apple.
Yeah.
And this Hennessy, that's so good.
Sound like it would be.
Right. So kind of tell them how you kind of made your way to Denver real quick.
So I followed my older brothers out here. My oldest moved out here for a job opportunity. My second oldest brother just needed a fresh start. He came out here, and I was getting into a lot of trouble back in my hometown, and I was getting into a lot of shit. My brothers were kind of like trying to convince me to move out here for a couple years, and then some shit happened, and I was finally like, boom, I'm out of here.
I got to do it.
I'm out. So I did, and it was definitely one of the best decisions that I made in my life.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I've been here since 2009.
Damn. So you're full-fledged. Yeah, you're full-fledged.
I've been grown with the city a little bit now, so.
So let's rewind real quick. You said you grew up in Vermont, right?
Yes.
How was that growing up there?
Growing up as a kid, it was the shit. We lived on like a 2.5-3 acre property, really rural town. My brothers and I mean, we'd be outside all day. We'd be at the brook. Fishing at the pond, catching frogs and shit. Like in the
all that shit as a kid, when kids were kids.
Literally, it was like the shit. We'd ride our bikes all over the place. Like our parents really didn't care. Our dog Boomer, he'd come with us everywhere. But then as I got older, like 17, 18,
that little small
19,
town syndrome.
Oh my God. I mean, there's just not a lot of opportunity. And so, then I found myself in some shit. So
what was like growing up in like a small town? Like, was it trying to suck you in and you're letting it a little bit? You're trying to get out, or?
No, I honestly didn't even have, I just didn't really have a lot of ambitions. I didn't know what I was passionate about in life. I was just like down to party and make money, and,
Were you thinking you're going to be there your whole life? Is that where you kind of were stuck at?
I don't really know. I don't think that I think I thought about it, but yeah, I really didn't take until I was like 23. Like I said, when some shit happened that I was like, I have to go. I'm
Right.
leaving. I cannot stay here. So, I mean, I was kind of just like doing the most.
Were you listening to hip hop at an early age, or
Very early.
what was some of the first stuff you first heard?
Oh my God. A lot of Tupac, a lot of NWA, West Side Connection, The Firm, Snoop.
You're saying a lot of West
Biggie.
Coast for being in Vermont.
Yeah, this is, I always tell everybody, I'm like, I grew up with 2 older brothers, so I'm like this little sister, and I just wanted to hang out with them all the time.
Yeah, I already know.
So they're listening to, and this is back when we'd get like the little Columbia CD.
The buy one, get 10 free or something?
Buy one, get 10 free, and
Yeah.
I used to order shit. My mom would be like, what the hell? And I would just order shit all the time, but anyways, so yeah, I was just trying to be up under my brothers, so I was listening to everything they were listening to. One of my first CDs was Salt and Pepper's Very Necessary, and I knew the whole album. I mean, I'd listened to it constantly.
Over.
I was like
And
9.
over. And over. And
over and over and over and over. And then like once I was in like 4th, 5th grade, that's when I started like stop, play, and I'd start writing down the lyrics so I could learn the songs. Like I of course did that for Bone Thugs, Crossroads. I like had to know the song. I remember doing it for Eminem. Like I was really like trying to be the coolest.
I remember doing that to a couple like Tribe Called Quest songs and a couple Far Side songs. And, I had to know every word for real.
I love that. Yeah. So since I was really, really young.
If you had to choose between the East and the West, what is Lizzy Brodie choosing?
I mean, I would say
and
say
you gotta
that
pick one. You gotta
I
pick
will.
one.
I will.
It's gonna
I
be
will.
like the West all day.
I have no shame that I really do lean towards. I'm the East Coast. I mean, people ask me a lot if I'm from New York or whatever. I'm like, no. But I am like an East Coast girl. But it's just that, and there's nothing. This doesn't take away from the West Coast or anything like that. But man, I don't know. Like I could listen to if I'm about to go do some real bossy shit or I'm about to go make some money, I swear to you, I'm almost 98% of the time listening to Jay-Z or Nipsey to get my mind right. But and Biggie, I'm like Biggie was my boo. Like I just loved him. I loved his whole swagger, his storytelling.
Did you ever get to see him live?
No.
Right.
Heartbreaking. I actually got to kick it with Lil C's, though, last week when he was here with this incredible band. They're a Biggie tribute band called the Frank White Experience. And, oh, my gosh, they were amazing. And because Biggie has passed, I'll never see him live. I never did see him live. This was, the next best thing.
The closest thing, yeah.
It was amazing. It was so nostalgic. And, meeting Lil C's, we've been in contact for quite a few years now. We had never met. And man, it was just so cool. It was like, oh man, I just love being around people from New York. It just feels so natural. I just like that energy, that conversation. And yeah, it was so dope. I'm like,
Little C's is like a sleeper. His solo album was a banger. I don't know if you remember it. It was like a pink cover.
I do remember.
He had a song with Busta Rhymes on that shit. I got that at the crib. I'm old. I got all the CDs. That's what we used to do is collect music like a mug,
I still have my booklets of CDs. I won't get rid of them.
Oh, not at all. The cases are nothing. You know what I mean?
Fuck the cases. I got the CDs and the booklets. I used to love reading the credits inside of a booklet, the thank yous, where it was written by the artist. I mean, they don't do that no more.
Nah, they don't do shit no more. It's almost they've lost a lot.
I love the tangible, and I still I buy vinyl here and there. I've just really started. I mean, as many rappers as I've been around, amazing people in the industry, I just barely have started to actually build my own memorabilia collection. I have a Air Force One that Method Man wore, 1420. He signed it. I got a Blackout album signed by both of them. I have a Fat Joe signature. I got a Nipsey signature. I got a Lil' Kim signature. I got some man, but I'm if I had really put forth thought into it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about because mine is before. So when I was growing up as a kid and teenager and even older adult, I would go get autographs. That was my thing, sports and musicians.
I love that.
But then when I started doing the music, it didn't sit right. So
Right.
I would like refrain, you know, I would totally,
Yeah.
even with pictures, like I kind of refrain here and there
Same.
and da-da-da-da. And even just till last time I was like, fuck it. We got the Far Side here. I'm bringing my album. I'm getting this song. Give a
Yeah.
fuck. But I've totally like know what you're saying. Like I was the opposite. So I have tons of shit, tons of shit, but I really haven't got too much stuff as far as being into music because it's like I'm not trying to be that. You know what I mean?
I know, and that's kind of how I mean that's. I mean, honestly, like I might like fangirl out a little bit on the inside, but more than anything, I just have always recognized that these are just people too, and if you treat them like regular people, they're gonna treat you like a regular person. Like, I mean, most of them. I mean, you don't.
Right.
It's just I've seen a lot of shit. I mean, really, it's being around Redman and Method Man, and those are really like my closest allies in hip hop and the music industry. They're like my family, and wow, I saw a lot of crazy shit. I've seen a lot of thirsty ass shit. I'm like, bitches are fucking crazy, but like I could never be like that. I could never do that. I'm like, do they think, does this work? This must work. Like this is, I mean, I've seen some shit definitely not work. Like, but I don't know, man. I mean, they're just
I've
people.
seen it all, yeah.
They're just people. Just treat them like regular people, man. You make those connections and it's genuine and real, then.
That was going to be one of my questions, but I guess we'll get to it right now.
Sure.
Who is, you know, either rapper or rappers or group or whatever, who has been the most, like, amazing? Like, just where, you know what I mean? Like, just the coolest ever.
Oh, like that I've met?
That you've met, yeah.
I mean, you know, I guess.
We're going to go back and forth on this.
Yeah, there's so.
Because we can do that. I already know we can do that. We got both good stories.
Redman really is so humble. So humble and funny and goofy and like, but he can also be pretty serious. He's a really good, you know, I actually met Lauryn Hill once. And I was, like, shaking nervous because I'm like, does she hate white people? Is she going to be a bitch to me? Like, because, you know, you hear all these, like, rumors and these things, but I was like, I don't give a fuck. I love her, and I love her music. She was so incredibly sweet to me. It was, like,
nice.
Insane. I was like, oh, thank you. I was just... I mean, I was, like, practicing what I was going to say to her, like,
You're
over and over
funny.
in my mind. I mean, I was just
You're
nervous.
funny for that one.
She's, like, a superstar to me. So,
yeah.
I mean, she is. She's in her own right, you know, but, whew.
I think one of my favorites or best was getting autographs at the airport. And it was a summer jam, I want to say. And we see the Youngbloods, Sean Paul and J-Ro. And, you know, we're getting some autographs, getting some albums signed and shit. And I started talking to Sean Paul, and I was like, oh, man, you look like you just woke up. I was like, you do it right, bro. You smoke a blunt, you get on a plane, you wake up. He's like, yeah. It's like, but I ain't got nothing here. I was like, what you need? But this is way before. This is way before medical, everything.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's like, shit, if you could just hook up a quarter or something, you know, I'll pay you, da-da-da. So, all right, called up the homie. It took a mission. Like, that was that day when, you know how back in the day when you needed chronic, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't happening. But we finally, I want to say, I called, this is funny, too. I called a person that I said I would never call for weed. And he's been on the podcast. And his name is Pinch Yo Sack.
Oh, boy.
And I said, I would never buy weed from Pinch Yo Sack because he's going to pinch my sack. And I'm not going to be happy. You know what I mean? He's the only motherfucker that answered that day. And I went and met up with Pinch Yo Sack, and I got a quarter.
Like, man, bro, just let it weigh, please.
He was cool with it. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things in your mind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hooked those cats up, you know what I mean? Fucking, they took us to the club with them, the after party. Like, we went to the concert, you know what I mean? They took us to the club. I remember 1,000 people being in line. We go through the side. We're in the VIP where you got to get through 3 rows of security.
Oh, what a vibe. So fun.
And Ja Rule's back there. Who's the cat that did Tipsy? Everyone get tipsy. Jaquan was in there. The Youngbloods was in there. And like I said, mind this is before like weed's legal and everything. We're in the VIP. You know, we got a quarter too, so we're smoking big and just doing whatever the fuck we want. These fools got bottles. You know what I mean? And it was fun. That was the coolest shit I've ever had. You know what I mean?
That's so fun.
Now I gotta do the reverse though.
Okay.
Who's the biggest asshole or biggest dickhead you've ever met?
Oh man.
I'm gonna come with one too.
That's cool. Let me think about this really quick.
Because they're out there. Like, 99% of them are cool as fuck. But you get those ones that are just fucking just...
Okay, you know what? I'm going to say this. I fucking... Afro man. I do not fuck with him.
He was on the podcast. He was cool as fuck.
excuse me. No, man, I can't fuck with
What
him.
happened?
I don't even remember what exactly happened, but he be fucked up and he be talking crazy. His energy is not
Now, when
good.
you say-
I haven't experienced this,
Right.
but there's been like just I don't know. I've just heard stories. I've heard
So
quite a
like
few stories
getting
about him.
fucked up and talking like recklessly,
like reckless to women.
Yeah.
Like
Thinking he's a pimp.
being super sketchy.
Yeah.
Like doing super weird shit.
being
like
a-
he's like doing some blow and smoking some weed and drinking some shit and I don't know. Like I don't know, but I mean that's like somebody that I'm like, I'm cool on, like for sure. Like I will say this story. It's not really like he was an asshole, but it was just a disappointing experience. We say this.
Yeah.
So, Mobb Deep, before Prodigy passed, I was so fucking excited. I mean, we were just listening to Mobb Deep. I know I get
Right.
the fucking word. I fucking love them. But their energy at the show, and I was backstage, I was kicking it.
Is this the one at Cervantes?
Yes.
Okay.
This was at Cervantes. And they just were like on opposite sides of the green room. Like they just didn't have a lot of brotherhood energy
Yeah.
together. You could kind of
It wasn't
tell.
meshing.
It was so awkward. And I've been in that green room a lot. And usually it's like buzzing and like it's good vibes and like people are hyped and like, cause it's, you know, like, yeah, it was just like super strange. And then like, I just remember watching the show and Pra was like pulling up his shirt to the front row trying to be that sexy guy. And I'm like, bro, it's all like 30-something men and shit. Like,
Yeah, there ain't no girls here.
Like nobody's
There ain't no women. There's like 4.
I don't know. It was just like kind of disappointing because it's like, you know, you love them, you love their energy together, their music, their albums, their work, and then you meet them and you're like around them and you're like,
It's a whole different vibe.
yeah, I'm like, okay, is everybody, should I leave? Or like, you good? Like, you guys need some fucking snacks or something right now?
I want to kind of say like I boycotted that concert.
Really?
Yeah, because he had came out with his book.
Okay.
And I listened to his book, and I just thought like he was really like just telling on everybody. Like he was really dry snitching.
read it.
There's a big you can listen to it too on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a good ass book, but I mean, he talks about Nori shooting people.
Yeah.
He talks about Capone taking the stand, like crazy shit, like just telling a little too much. And I was like,
And that's not cute. It's not a good look.
and then what I also heard is like Mobb Deep, they're usually coming from Vegas or someplace else, and they're usually just fucked up beyond belief when they're on stage and can't even perform. So I was like, I'm not gonna pay no money for that shit. Fuck that shit. And it's funny because a couple of the homies went, and then
I mean, it was a good show-ish, but it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I hoped
what
for.
you wanted to be,
It
yeah.
wasn't what I wanted it to be.
And then like a year later, Go ahead.
Because I see shows like Redman and Method Man, and those motherfuckers put the fuck on every time.
I got something to say about that.
So you know,
I'm a Redman and Method Man. I love them, but I got something to say about that. So
Ooh,
hold on,
ooh.
real quick. What I was saying, what were we talking about? Well, oh shit. Dropping blunts and shit, getting all excited out here. So what were we talking about? Because I'm high.
we were just talking about the Mobb Deep show.
Okay, so yeah, so then a year later, I see him at the other side, not Cervantes, and they killed it. They were sober and everything.
Interesting.
And they walked in the front door and they fucking killed it.
Yeah, interesting.
And I remember this fool stage dove.
Yeah.
And fucking hit the floor on his head.
Oh, hell.
Like everyone just, boom. Yeah, it was funny, but they kind of killed it that time, and I was like,
That's tight. See, I feel like it would be better if I seen him like in New York or something,
Yeah, there you go. Back in the day.
Okay, so what's the tea on my people though?
Bro, I love
These are
Redman.
my people.
Love Method Man, big fans.
Yes.
But I stopped seeing them. I stopped going to their shows, real talk. Because one year, they were making the tour. They're making the rounds in Colorado. You know what I mean? They did Denver.
Yeah.
They did Fort Collins.
Is this a Blackout 2 tour?
I don't remember. And they did one more. And where did they do? Hold on. They did Fort Collins, Boulder, and Denver.
Yeah. That's about right.
And I went to all 3 shows.
I know what you're going to say.
And that shit was scripted to the jokes.
Yeah.
And I get it. Y'all did this shit a million fucking times. But throw a little fucking...
Yeah, you know what? I've actually talked about that.
And it was literally like, I mean, the first time I seen it was cool, and then like the second time it was downtown, I want to say at kind of next on the block before Vinyl. I can't remember what that place is, but it's a crazy place. And he did the same jokes and same laugh and same everything.
I feel you on that because I know because I've seen their set, but in recent years, I'm gonna say they have definitely switched it up. I remember multiple times being like, oh shit, like, cause man, like I have a dream, right? This show is a dream of mine. I really want to do something with Meth, but I really love Meth has so much more in his catalog, and I know that he's really passionate and focused on his acting and stuff. I mean, of course he loves music and he's always still going to do shows, but I like have this dream of doing this like really dope like unplugged with Meth where he's doing cuz my favorite album for Meth is 421 The Day After.
Okay. I got that on album.
So that's got some fucking songs on there. Like songs I just think for that time of my life, I was like it just meant a lot to me. It resonated with me much more. But like some of those songs live would be fucking incredible. So I feel you because as a fan, you don't want to see the same. You don't want to hear everything. You know. You want the show to feel genuine. You want to feel like. Yeah, I know. I get that. Okay. So
I'm thinking like I said, I'm old, so I listen to everything like good music. I listen to Grateful Dead, and that's the one thing that I gave them is they had 1 million songs. But each playlist, each show was a different playlist,
show,
and their fans would record those tapes and trade those tapes. So they have Madison Square Garden, 1980.
That's really really dope.
Show 1, and that playlist is way different from show 2, show 3, and then even when they go to Baltimore, the next week. So I would think just as like I don't want to call them old rappers, but when you're just older, you want to like mix that shit up. Y'all know your words to your songs.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to encourage you to catch the next show.
Well, I seen them at the Wu-Tang shit. I mean, that wasn't them solo, but I mean,
I'm going to encourage you to hit the next Red and Meth show and see if you don't feel differently.
And another thing, too, is one of my favorite groups of all time is A-Ball and MJG.
So you saw them at Cervantes. They were in Denver for 420 a couple times. You didn't go
I didn't go because of the Red and Meth.
Man.
And then they stopped coming,
You should never do that. Never do that again.
Right.
Never do that again. I always am encouraging people like always go to shows.
Yeah, I always go
even
to
if you just want to see the
shows.
opener.
Yeah, I go to tons of shows, but it was just like and then during those years too, they were like you can't smoke in there. Like you remember those couple years of Cervantes where they're like you light up.
Yeah.
Anything we're kicking you out.
Yeah.
Like, it was some shit like that.
That was a really weird time because they were like.
They were super
trying to deal with the legalities of the legalization and venues and bars and whatever the fuck. It was a lot. I get it. Oh, that's not straight.
No, you're fine. But yeah, Red and Meth they're legends in their own right. Like shit,
Sure.
Muddy Waters is like one of my favorite albums of all time.
I know. And I wasn't even really a Redman fan or Method Man. I mean, I was, but like not really until I was like a teenager. And my brothers were listening to them when Muddy Waters dropped. Like they were like, can't wait. So like one of the proudest moments of my life is just being able to bring my brothers around them. And like, cause that's just the coolest shit ever. Like it's such a fun dynamic. Like I'm so thankful for that.
For sure. But yeah, like, it's crazy. Who are some of your favorite MCs?
Oh man, I love Talib Kweli.
Okay.
The Roots. Man, I like Nipsey, Jay-Z. I'm just like. Honestly, like I'm such an old school girl.
That
like
90s
it's
shit,
so hard for me to like even with music. Okay, so say a song is hot right now, everyone's listening to it. I'll love it in 5 years. When it becomes a throwback and I'm like, oh shit, that feeling that I get from music that is nostalgic and gives you that feeling like, oh shit, this was my jam, like, and just kind of like that 90s era, the golden era is just, it's unmatched. And it's just like what I love. So it's hard. I try to listen to newer music, and I do have like the artists that I listen to, but you know, I'm still always going back and playing like.
It's kind of hard to listen to it. It's not hard that it's hard to listen to it, but it's hard to stray from the old shit.
Like for a new rapper that I really, really like, and I'll say he's an MC, is Corday. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but man, like his biggest influence is Nas. So that alone tells me something. I'm going to understand what the fuck you're talking about if I listen to your music. And sure enough, he's really like that. He's really, 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 really dope.
Do you listen to the radio at all?
Oh, yeah. I listen to the radio a lot. I listen to 104.7 The Drop a lot because I love what an array of music that they play. I mean, on Sundays, you can get gospel and you could get like Michael Jackson and then like fucking 50 Cent in like the same 5 minutes. I listen to KS 107.5 a lot too. So, you know, I'm hearing like the hot songs, you know, but
the hot songs are not always the hot songs. Like you said, I'm looking for the B-sides like you that's going to make me rock.
Yeah.
I give a fuck less. Or like you said, when it gets to my universe.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know,
I feel
that doesn't really happen though, I don't think.
It happens more than you think, at least with a couple of stations. I mean, in KS 107.5's definitely started playing a lot more like older music in recent years. I know the other day I was riding and I think it was like Doja Cat, but the next song was fucking Cameron. And I was like, okay, you know, like that shit made me feel like, oh, look, my song is
They kind of snuck some in.
Swear. But, you know, like I also grew up listening to like a lot of classic rock and like 90s pop, and like I was a teeny bopper too. So I'm very like musically cultured. So sometimes I'll put on whole other stations. The only music I really don't really listen to is like country. There's some country songs that I like, but I mean, I have my moments where I just want to feel like it's 1994 and I'm 9 and like I'm listening to the radio. Couldn't like so I just listen to like 90s pop hits or whatever, and like, you know, Ace of Base and fucking whatever the
Some
fuck.
Milli Vanilli.
But I know all that shit. I'm like, I know it all, and I love like, you know, Leonard Skinner and
good
Led
music.
Zeppelin.
Good music.
Exactly. So I'm super thankful for that because, you know,
Right.
good music.
Being like around, like you were talking earlier, the thirst.
Thirsty bitches. Bah.
It's bad.
It's so bad. And, you know, living in Denver, I've been around a lot of athletes, too. Some of my best
That's
friends
even
are
worse.
former Broncos.
They even like, well, Broncos are one level, Nuggets are a whole different level.
I mean, I've really seen some shit. I definitely have some stories. We're trying to go there. I'm not trying to put. I won't put nobody on blast, but good God, I have seen some shit.
I'll start it off because I had one that we were talking about just the other night, but it's Wu-Tang.
Okay.
And like Wu-Tang, they're dope and everything. But
of course.
If you've ever been to a Wu-Tang show, you know at the end of the show, they're going to tell you where the fuck they're at. You know what I mean? And once getting autographs, I'm like, all right, cool. I have an album, everyone on it except for Meth. So, you know, I'm trying to go get meth or whatever.
And, you mean autographs?
Yeah,
okay,
and
yeah.
these fools
I was like, what do you mean?
We're at the JW, you know, come,
okay.
da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Head right down there. Bus pulls up, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? They start getting off. These two chicks I know get off. And they like see me, and they're like jaw drops. You know what I mean? Because I'm like JoeThunder, so I'm not really trying to do it, but I'm trying to really, you know, I'm trying to get meth on it because he's the only one I need on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
And they looked at me, and they're like, and I swear to God, like the next day, or not, the next day, like 5 in the morning, I got a DM like, "Oh, last night was so much fun. We just smoked
like,
weed.
yeah.
You know how those guys." I'm like, yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm sure at some point somebody thought that I was like a thirsty chick, but I really was never thirsty. It was really always like one of the first times I hung out with Redman. It was the Red Gone Wild tour. It was 2007. It was out here. These motherfuckers had a rubber band gun. We still talk about this thing to this day, but like nobody was safe with this rubber band gun. They were shooting everybody with the shit. Like, so it was like you had no time to try and act like a little thought. You were like had to be on your fucking P's and Q's because you were about to get hit in the fucking side of the face with the rubber band gun. It was fucking crazy, but yeah, I mean, yep, it can be a lot. but you know, it's all good. You know, it's like live your best life.
Hey.
Thirsty bitches.
Have you ever seen any, like, how do you say, like, anyone, like, hiding in the, you know what I mean? Some shit, some crazy, just some wild ass shit just to meet somebody.
I mean, there was a one show in Connecticut. This was the Blackout 2 tour. So this was like 2008. And we were at this venue called Toad's Place. It's New Haven, Connecticut. It's actually kind of legendary. Like, if anybody is listening that's from Connecticut, they've probably been to a show at Toad's Place. So all the green rooms are downstairs, and you just kind of go downstairs. It's this long hallway and a bunch of green rooms. There are these two girls. I mean, they were dressed in like complete lingerie. There was no jeans, shorts, fucking nothing. Jackets, fuck a jacket. Who needs a jacket? These bitches were to the nines in lingerie, but they were not making it into any green room. They were literally just back and forth in this hallway,
just trying to figure it
super
out.
lit. And so they ended up talking to me and my friend, and like we were just like, yeah, girls, like what up? Like we were like, whatever, cool, whatever. But like when we turned to go into the green room, they literally were like, we're with them. And I turned around, and I was like, the fuck you are? No, you're not. Like,
Nope.
girl. No, do not do all that. You were doing too much. Like, it was crazy. I was like, no. Like, but people really do, like, I mean, I don't know how people get on stages so easily. I just seen a video of that dude Vito, the R&B singer out in Atlanta, and some chick ran up on his stage, and he like kind of almost hit her with a 2-piece. Like, he didn't really hit her, but like
He was ready to
because I mean, what the fuck? Like, somebody just comes charging at you and you're performing. But I'm like, where? So at least 2 people were for show not doing their job.
Right.
Like,
No, for sure.
Yo, like, what the fuck? Yeah, people are fucking crazy.
It just takes a moment, though, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all you got to do is something right here and that
Swear.
before you know it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, you know what I mean?
And they be waiting and lurking and ready.
Have you ever seen anyone get really beat up? Like, for trying to get on the stage or trying to do some dumb shit?
No, I've seen like some heated like motherfucker stand down type shit, but no, I haven't. I've heard some stories, but I've never seen it.
I hear Nelly wrote, like, back in the day, he used to have some goons on his team,
I
and
don't
they would
doubt
fuck
that.
around. Like,
How funny.
You know what I mean? It's just, they think, how do you say, Nelly's gangster just like MC Hammer's gangster. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. You know, yeah, it's rough. You know what I mean?
How funny.
Hey, what are some kind of like the bigger shows that you've been a part of, like while you've been here in Denver throughout your kind of career that you've been doing all this stuff?
Like as far as like promoting?
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's see. I mean, now that I've been working with AEG for, I guess like really maybe a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some of the bigger shows, Erykah Badu. I mean, of course, the Red MF show, Snoop, or no, man, was it Snoop? No, but it was Wiz. Yeah, I mean, an upcoming Ice Cube and A Boogie with the hoodie, and he's really big. And so, yeah, I mean, really anything at like Red Rocks is pretty much up there. I mean, that venue is obviously incredible. The capacity there, I mean, that's a big ass show.
That's like probably one of the best. I've seen the best show, like one of the best shows I've ever seen was at Red Rocks.
100%.
We were lucky enough to be front row.
Ooh, what was it? What show was it?
Smoking Groove.
Cool. Festival?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I was at the Spoken Grove Festival in LA this past year.
Let me see. This is a while ago. Remember, I'm old.
No, I went to the Spoken Grooves Festival in LA just last year, but I didn't know how old this festival is.
Oh yeah,
it's an incredible fucking.
I think I went to the second one, and it was Black Eyed Peas open.
Wow, dope.
They're brand new, dressing crazy. Like, who the fuck are these crazy looking motherfuckers? Like, for real, like they might have been the first. Not skinny jeans, but skinny motherfucking pants.
Right.
Because I was looking for. I mean,
they were very eccentric.
Then after them, I want to say was like Gangstar and M.O.P.
Fire.
And then it was Busta Rhymes.
Guru is my number one favorite MC.
He's one of my top three. Busta Rhymes with
Fire.
Flip Mode.
Dope.
Wyclef and Cannabis, Public Enemy, and Cypress Hill.
Wow, that's such a dope show.
And Cannabis was painted gold. with a big ass fucking lion on stage, and an explosion that fucking sizzled my eyebrows.
You're like, what the fuck is that?
First of all, I gotta worry about this explosion that just happened. That fucking feels like my shit got fried.
Oh my god!
And then there's this big ass lion on stage. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker could eat me up. And then cannabis is painted gold.
Yeah, sounds about right. You're like, god damn. How funny. Love that though. That's super dope.
Funny thing about Wyclef, like, definitely talented musician and the whole nine. I can't fucking stand his music. Like his solo shit, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Fuji shit dope. His solo shit, But as a performance, his performance, I would pay to go see him.
Yeah.
And I paid to see him, and his performance is A+++++.
That's really cool. That's really
and
cool.
it's so crazy, like, because last time he came, I went and seen him at the little spot downtown, right by the Summit or whatever.
The Marquee?
No, not the Marquee. It was like the little. I think it's like the Summit. It's right on
the Summit.
Corner. Yeah,
19th and Blake. Yeah.
Yeah, seen him there. He was dope. You know
That's
what I mean?
so awesome.
But like I said, I wouldn't go buy his album at all. Like, I hate to say that, but
yeah,
he's a dope performer.
Well, that's amazing because that's what it takes. Because how disappointing is it when they just suck? When they're like literally not
like you said,
good.
the same shit, you know?
Yeah. No,
same shit over and over.
You know, I did see D'Angelo live.
That's what I say. Amazing concerts for you.
D'Angelo.
Was that at the Ogden?
That was the Black Messiah tour.
I bet he was pulling chicks. I was gonna say.
I would honestly.
I almost said the B word, but I refrained for you. I'm letting
fine.
you know.
I would have been that. I'm not even gonna fucking lie.
Calm down. We might
Listen, I'm just gonna say it.
Is he the one on the list?
I don't
or is there
think
a couple on the list?
No, D'Angelo's on the list for sure. There's a couple like.
There's ever a chance.
So, he's just such a beautiful man, but I didn't see that like. You know, when you're around shows, like, you know, you can try and like see like what the vibe is, like if it didn't look like that at all. Look like he's like untouchable.
Oh,
that's that. But man, it was an amazing show. I mean, it was like, first of all, that Black Messiah album is incredible, and I still listen to it front to back to this day. I remember when it dropped, Musa, shout out to Musa. It was like a Sunday, I don't know. He had the whole album playing in Cold Crush in the afternoon. Just like, it was just that good. You know, you just like let it ride. But yeah, love me some D'Angelo. It's fine. I'll admit it. I lose my hydration.
We need to take a break. What about some other concerts? What was really another banging concert you've seen?
Man, gotta say Erykah Badu. She's so incredible. I mean, she's like, her concerts are like going to church. Man, honestly, I've been to so many. It's hard to pinpoint some. I
can tell you some because I've been this sucked. I hate to say this.
No, don't say it.
I hate to say this.
No. Okay. Well, I have to tell you my story about the first time I saw Nas live.
Go for it.
So the first time I saw Nas live was at Cervantes. So Cervantes is a small venue for an artist like Nas. First of all, Cervantes. Second of all, the show was supposed to be Mos Def. He ended up canceling out. They brought in Nas. Justin Bua was live painting on stage. This is how I met Bua, and I have an autograph. I actually have a couple things by him autographed, and shout out to Justin Bua because he's the shit. But yeah, so Nas at Cervantes. It was the first time seeing him. I just remember him performing one mic.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, really at Cervantes, you're not far from the stage wherever you are. I think their capacity is like 1,500 maybe. And I remember exactly where I was. I remember watching him perform that, and it was so emotional. I cried. I fucking cried because... You know, I mean, when you just really connect with certain music, certain songs, artists, and then you hear it live, sometimes it can be really fucking emotional. And that's, I can't be alone in that because I definitely, like, if I'm crying at a concert, it's church. I needed that shit. And yeah, I'll just never forget that moment. It was just amazing. And I was like, I cannot believe Nas is right there just performing the fuck out of this song that's been you know,
A classic.
Classic. And okay, I will say the first time I saw Jay-Z live, I cried as well. I cried when he hit the stage. He wasn't even performing no fucking epic shit. It was like, like his fucking hopa. It was the Pepsi Center. It was 2011. It was the Blueprint 3 tour.
Okay.
Man. And I remember he rose up from the bottom, you know, like to the stage. And I had floor seats for that. Lost my fucking mind. I mean, and this was... You know, before I moved to Colorado, I had been to some concerts, but really not that many.
Right.
Now that I've lived in Colorado and I've got, you know, moved into the entertainment scene and promoting and throwing shows and things like that, yeah, I have like no idea how many concerts I've seen. It's so many, and I'm super thankful for that. But like, so prior to this, you know, I was, you know, so I was learning these. I was, you know, growing into my experience with concerts, because like, honestly, like, it's like if I'm depressed, man, just send me to a fucking concert.
Or music. Yeah, music's the best.
Music
actually,
in general.
Nipsey.
Okay.
Not even music. Like, Nipsey is the key when you're fucking depressed.
Swear to God. Oh.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to anything else.
Nipsey's music is so uplifting and inspiring. He's the shit.
That sucks that we lost him at such a young age.
You know, I gotta say this. I was distraught when all this was happening, when the news of him being shot was reported. That whole night, I remember we were just checking online and trying to like follow and see what the fuck was happening. And then when it was that he passed, it was like, no, this can't be. I drove home from work because I was at work, so Anyways, I remember driving home, I'm listening to Victory Lap, and when Double Up came on, as I'm pulling into my complex, that was when I lost it. Fucking lost it. And so I remember talking to my boy Omar, who's from Cali. Shout out to Omar Bolden. He's a Super Bowl 50 champion, that boy. But I was texting with him, and I'm like, man, it just, like, this wasn't his time. He had so much more to do. And I remember Omar said, but maybe it was. And I thought about that, and it put into perspective, like, you know, his passing in a positive light. Because I started to think about it like this. If Nipsey had gone on to live a full life, 100 years, would he still have had the same impact? I don't know. I can't say that. Sometimes things can, because now it's like,
I think he's different though. I think the movement
100%
I think the
different.
movement he was on was just something different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
he was like the next Diddy, but like better, but like can actually rap Diddy, but like business mogul and like.
Well, just for the community. How many people right now do you really see doing a lot for the community?
I mean, Trey the Truth is somebody that gives a lot back.
Yeah.
He's like legendary for what he does in Houston, but you know there are people, but
I'm saying there's only
they're
a
different.
couple people.
Yeah, they're different, and Nipsey definitely was different. But that just gave me, whether it's true or not, it just gave me that perspective of like he did everything he was supposed to do. I don't know. It's hard to justify a loss like that.
I heard something today that Mike Tyson said, and I don't remember who he was telling, but he was telling a youngster, and he was talking about just blowing all his cash and hooking people up with like cars and not, giving a fuck. And he's like, I don't remember the word he used. I don't think it was legend, but he's like a real, like, whatever. He said like a real legend doesn't buy themselves shit. They buy other people and set other people up. You know what I mean? To succeed.
Right.
That's a real G,
Each
a real
one
person.
teach one.
Yeah.
That's the core of like being a good fucking person. You know what I'm saying? Like ego will destroy so much. And one of the biggest things I've seen in business is people with egos do not want to, they're greedy.
Right.
They don't want to put people on. But you will find that your blessings will multiply when you can learn the game, turn around, teach it to somebody else, bless somebody else. I mean, your blessings are going to come tenfold. That's just how the universe works. So, but you know, Nipsey, like, this is kind of the thing though. Like, Nipsey is such a legend. I mean, he was in his right, but now that with his passing, it's like I feel like his music could be like studied. Like, I have a show called Lessons in Hip Hop where I talk about, it's a little YouTube show, little something, but I talk about lyrics of songs and like what they were talking about, breaking down the lyrics, essentially, whatever. I definitely have a couple Nipsey songs in there.
No, for sure. He's definitely saying something. He's not,
Yeah.
He's telling stories,
Yes.
But I think he could have definitely been greater. And I think, like, you know what I mean? He was really about the community and the youth.
Yeah.
And he wanted to resurrect, that whole area of Slauson and Crenshaw.
Yeah.
And you don't see that, really. Like I said, there are people that do it, like you said, but everyone should be fucking doing it.
Right.
I'm not going to say the person's name, but who's the biggest piece? Think in your mind who the biggest piece in the rap game is. He's a rapper. He has a rainbow-colored head. You know what I'm talking about?
Rainbow?
Rainbow-colored hair.
The motherfucking 6ix9ine boy?
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name, but...
Oh, fuck that guy.
But...
But what about him?
He's always... It's probably publicity stunt shit, but he's always giving motherfuckers money. He's always fucking... He just bought like 20 chicks like fucking Birkin bags the other day, like for doing his video. Like, and he's always... I know it's a publicity stunt, and he films it and he's putting it on, and I'm not giving him props or anything, but you see him giving a gang of fucking money out.
Yeah.
And I know what he's trying to do, but I mean,
Well, I believe that when you give things away into charity, you don't get taxed on that. So maybe that's.
I think it's more for his reputation.
No, for sure. I mean, like,
It's
I
like
have a whole
it's
opinion.
like a Shicey has Robin Hood. Like,
Bro,
all right, I'll take that $500.
Oh my God. I mean, my opinion on how social media has affected the rap game, the music game. I mean, it's like, it's insane because
it's wild.
Yeah, you lose so much of the substance because, like, I think 6ix9ine is a fucking idiot. I think he's an idiot. Sure, he might have like a couple songs, but like, who the fuck is this guy? Are you kidding? This is a real fucking person. I mean, it's kind of the same with like Donald Trump. I'm like, this is not real life. It is. Okay, this is where we're at.
It's funny though, like the younger kids, they love that fool. Like where I work, there would be like the motherfucker that you would not think in the whole fucking wide world would be listening to him, and he's bumping them, and he's like, and they're all on I just like the way it sounds. That's kind of like the youth, you know what I mean? Like they're not really about the substance. They just like the beat, and they just like what he's doing and wilding out. You know what I mean? I want to wild out too, type shit.
Oh man, I'm really interested to see what kind of music she's gonna like when she gets older, because I try to just give her an array of music. Let her like what she likes, but I can tell you this: if Biggie's rapping, she can tell you it's Biggie, and I'm proud of that.
I don't know.
His face, she knows that that's Biggie.
I don't know. I think if I had kids, I'd have to force hip hop down their throat. Like just literally,
shit.
like I mean.
Well,
Or I would not. Hey, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't force it down the throat. I would let them.
We have to expose them to it.
Well, let them take the path, but they start going off on that cornball shit. That's where that stops. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that like when my daughter gets a little older, I think it would be really dope to teach her hip hop in a sense of like
exactly.
playing her
teach it
music and letting her listen to what they're talking about, and then like having like a little recap and talking about it, because I cringe when I think about, one day I'm sure my daughter's going to listen to music that I'm going to think is fucking ridiculous. And maybe I'm going to be listening to something that she's going to be like, Mom, turn that shit off, But I think that, if you can just really expose your kids to like good, honest, authentic music, and like specifically when it comes to hip hop, because hip hop has changed. Like rock is rock, country is country. Hip hop has changed so much
everywhere,
and it's expanded so much, which is fine because growth is good. We it's all good, But, you know, just like teaching her like the core of it and the history of it, and like letting her actually have like a knowledge of it, then sure, maybe she can turn up to some stupid ratchet shit, but then like my baby gonna put on some Biggie and tap in.
Yeah, I know the classic shit.
Classic.
Hey, talking about kind of like all this stuff, being that we're kind of on the subject, what do you think of all like the violences that's kind of been happening lately? Like, I mean, it seems like literally every other week someone's getting killed. Like, you know?
It's so tragic and so sad. Because.
Can I say something real quick? Because I just kind of thought something. It kind of reminds. It kind of goes back to what we were just talking about with the youth. They don't want to, you know, how do you say? They don't want to gain the knowledge. They want it like with the whole PB and rock thing. Yeah. Like when you go to LA, you got to know where not to go.
Right.
But if you're just on your phone and Googling Roscoe's and pick the first motherfucker that pops up and you go there, you know what I mean? Ugh. And you're like just. You know, with your girl
doing you
draped up and dripped out, you know what I mean? In a $100,000 car in the parking lot. Like, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, not taking like the precautions or really kind of learning or paying attention to what's kind of going on. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely feel that that is very important, especially if you're going somewhere you're not from. I mean, but in general, when you reach a certain level. Or you're looking a certain way, like security, and not even security, but awareness. Somebody's got to be you got to find an OG in every city that you can count on, that can show you the ropes, literally.
But then look at the takeoff stuff.
Yeah, that.
He was with the
crazy.
OGs.
But then it's like,
But when you're on Amigos level, you do not need to be in the bowling alley shooting dice. If you really want to shoot dice like that, go to Vegas or go someplace else. I was listening to something, and they said like, you know, 8 out of 10 dice games, like something bad happens and someone ends up getting hurt really bad or shot. Like, you know what I mean? If you're winning, they're gonna rob you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I just, you know, I think that it can be easy to get to a level where you're comfortable. But that can be your downfall too, because once you reach a certain level, you are going to have a target on you no matter what. It's important to have people around you in your crew, OGs, and, you know, in the city, something, connection to people that can, you know,
at least help you out.
You know, I mean, shit, I don't want to be lost. And I don't know, man. And then it's just tough because I feel like the music is really easy. It can be a really easy come up. So you can literally be working in the streets, from the hood. That's your lifestyle. That's what you were born into or whatever. That's just where you come from. But then all of a sudden, I mean, and the way social media has affected how people live and how people are not so private, like, you know, checking in, for example, when you're somewhere. Like,
I don't fucking check in nowhere. I might post some shit if I'm at a concert, but I don't say I'm at fucking the Fillmore or at fucking any place. Fuck that.
It's super tough, but, you know, the music game, I feel like, it can be easy for a lot of, like, people to come up with, like, into. Not just, like, the artists, but, you know.
Well, someone said this the other day. I don't know who it was. I'm not worried about the rapper. At all.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm
worried
saying.
about the people that are with him.
This is the easiest route for the homies to also come up
and get stripes and all that shit.
And it's just so sad because, like, you can't always have your homies around or your homies. You just don't know what people. I don't know, man. And I just have to shout out my boy Scotty ATL. Scotty really taught me a lot about really checking who's around you. And, like, Atlanta is dangerous. Atlanta can be really, really dangerous. He's lost close people to him. And he's just, as long as I've known him, like 6 years now, he's just always really, 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 really mindful of his surroundings.
You have to be.
Super mindful of the people that are around. If somebody is weird, he get them the fuck away. Like, and I for one, appreciate that. For two, it also has kind of coached me in the sense of, like, keeping awareness is everything, because you just really never you just never know. And when you are successful and popular, you have a target, period. So
Right. I mean, going back to another situation too. Draco the Ruler.
Yeah.
At a concert, backstage, with his, about 10 people, and then 50 motherfuckers come in, and look what happened there. Same
That's
shit.
so
You're not safe
crazy.
fucking anywhere.
That's so crazy.
I was telling the big homie just the other night, I wanted to go to that concert. You know what I mean? Because it was like 100 groups. It's fucking everyone you could think of. And I kind of started thinking about it before I was getting ready to get a plane ticket. And I was like, hold up. I'm like, we got like 100 groups. That's 100 gangs.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about the crowd.
Yeah.
And then the crowd are going to be another 100 gangs.
That honestly.
And I'm a big dude, tatted. Like, I'm just doing, I'm not paying no attention really, you know what I mean? Like, I am, but I'm, you know what I mean? Just kind of going with the flow. But that's not a good situation to be in.
No, and that's definitely like, so, okay. What's the most hood show you've been to?
The most hood show?
Like the most.
Oh, I know exactly. No, I know. I got a couple. I was going to say, okay, the one that I could think of that comes to mind is, I don't even know the place where it was at, but it's kind of off Federal and Mississippi. It's like this little place in the cut between Federal and Sheridan, but motherfucking Project Pat.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. When was that?
This was like, it's about like probably 7-8 years ago. And none of the homies wanted to go with me. And I'm the cat that if no one wants to go, I'll roll solo dolo.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And like I went there, and that is the hoodest shit. It was a bunch of Mexicans, bunch of brothers, and like people were just getting, not them, but people were just getting into it, and they're taking people out left and right. Motherfuckers like, I'll be in the parking lot when you get out. And it was like wild as fuck.
That's
and like,
crazy.
It was funny. They were like, there were no white people there at all, except for 2 people, and they're the homies that were graffiti writers, cat AC, and I'm gonna say this cat Covet. They were the only white dudes there in this whole, and it was like, I'm talking like, just motherfucker, everyone you're crossing looked like they just got out of the jail, got out the pen, straight tattoo, like yoked up, like ready to fucking fuck shit up.
Wow.
And besides that, seeing Brother Lynch at the Roxy when he's doing his kind of ICP shit, that shit was crunk. That shit was like,
wow. Yeah, I've never seen a show like that, but I feel like it would be an experience.
Just those fools are crazy. Like I was on Kofax one time, like at 7-Eleven or some shit, and they had just let out a concert like ICP, and there's juggalos everywhere. And like somebody starts some shit, and this motherfucker does the whistle. Before you know, there's about 200 of these motherfuckers fucking these fools. I'm just like, God damn, like
that's
you don't
crazy.
fuck with him. Yeah, like
that's
it was
crazy.
Yeah, what about you?
I think one of the most hood shows I've been to, like, I won't say okay, it was a Jeezy show. It was Jeezy at the Ogden. Okay. But it was blue flags everywhere. Yo. But it was honestly like, and I'm pretty like aware, like I'm mindful of concert crowds 100% because I've been to so many. I've seen some shit at some shows. Like I don't want to be near it. I don't want to be a part of it. So especially towards the end, you start to just pay attention. But this Jeezy show, like,
oh, you gotta leave early.
I didn't leave early.
Oh.
I didn't have. I swear though, it was like one of the best energy shows I feel like I had been to because I'm like, everybody is just rapping the shit out of song after song after song, and Jeezy's really got that real like bossy type energy. And damn,
was it that concert where like there were 1 million free tickets? You kind of know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So back in the day, like I want to say this was some shit they were trying, but there was a 50 Cent concert and there was a Jeezy concert. And what they were trying to do is like really break it down. Like those places are general admission, but they were trying to break it down where like front, first 5 rows, like $1,000, some stupid shit. You know what I mean? And they didn't sell no tickets for that shit for both those shows. And they kind of did them the same way. And I remember like the 50 Cent show, like my homegirl Shorty that worked the radio, she's like, fool, I got 1 million 50 Cent tickets. You want some? I was like, yeah, I'll take some. She's like, how many you need? I'm like, how many can you hook me up with? She's like, whatever you want. I was like, whatever I want.
She's like, get 25.
She's like, I was like, let me get 10 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I gave it to all the homies, and like, we got there, and like, he started to perform, and like the first 30 seconds was kind of whack, and I was like, it's gonna be one of those shows. And then they got the sound right, and that fool killed it for like 2 hours.
Oh my God.
Killed
I've
it,
never
killed
seen
it, killed
50
it.
Cent live, and I really want to.
And that the same thing with the Jeezy. Jeezy killed it too, and they were trying to do the whole shit where they're trying to section it off and charge ridiculous price, and they didn't sell anything. And I got free tickets for that shit. Same thing. And I remember my homie Verbal, he was like some hustler fool that sang CDs, like a rapper.
Yeah.
Notorious Denver CD slanger. And someone came up, he was out there slanging CDs, and someone gave him a 30 stack of fucking those Jeezy tickets. And he sold them for like $5 a piece.
That's
but you know what I
fire.
mean? But it was like.
Well, man, I'm not sure, but yeah, I just remember I was up top at the Ogden, and I remember looking down, and it was just like blue flags.
I've been there for the
everywhere,
game like that.
For real. And that can be like YG shows, but I don't know. Like I have not had a bad experience, but
Right.
that's always in the back of my mind, like, cause I don't know, people be tripping or whatever. But I'm like, once that gangbanging shit starts happening, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go.
My homie told
it's time
me.
for Lizzy to leave. Shit.
My homie told me he had seen Nipsey and the game at the Ogden when they were on tour, and they did a tour.
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah, because
I always wonder how the fuck that shit worked out, because now you really do got Crips and Bloods together.
That's legendary fucking shit. But I mean, yeah, for them doing that together, amazing. And then like Nipsey and YG doing music together, and like what that meant for, these people that come from this culture and everything. Amazing. But you just don't always know that everybody in the crowd is going to be feeling that shit.
No,
You know what I mean? It's just so scary.
There's always someone trying to prove
something.
something.
I don't hate on gangs at all. Like, I respect the history of gangs and why they started and why they, became so strong for their community and their neighborhood. I mean, that's really what it came down to, is family, community, and just protecting them, because they weren't feeling like they were protected and properly. And so, but like, I mean, it's just gotten like super out of hand.
What we're kind of talking about is you got to always respect it.
Right. Because
the moment you don't respect it, that's when you get caught slipping. And, and even like with this game that we're in rap music, game, hip hop. That's just dangerous.
It is.
They might not have some of me, but the motherfucker that I'm right next to, you know what I mean? And I'm right there, or thinking, you know what I mean? They can think a million things. So we always got to keep our heads up. I think we're going to take a little break, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then we'll come right back and we'll give you some more knowledge. All right. Be right back. All right. It's your boy Joe Thunder, and we are back with Lizzy Brodie in the building. What's going on?
What up, y'all?
Taking a little break, a little chronic break, a little bathroom break, a little your snacks break, you know what I mean? All that little chatter break, who knows? All kinds of shit. But we was talking earlier about like bad concerts, and I know you love Nas.
Love me some Nas.
And I'm gonna tell you, I see Nas, and I love him as a MC. Got most of his albums, CDs, whatnot. Right. But I seen him at the Fillmore.
With Lauryn Hill?
Nah, he was by himself.
Interesting. Okay.
It was way back. This one was way back in the day. Like I said, I'm talking like 10, 20. This was back in the day.
Okay, so before I moved here for sure. So I went
probably.
To
He was probably. I remember he came solo dolo, but I went and seen him, and fucking, he didn't like do like complete songs. He did like
that's the worst.
Melodies, or what do you? It's not a melody, but what do you call it? Like when you do like one verse from one song and the next verse, and like,
not the full song. I don't know. That'd be driving me nuts. So too, because you really want to rap the whole shit, and then when they don't do the whole song, you're like, drop the second verse.
I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's not a melody, but it's like when you get a bunch of songs and you do them all at once. You know what I mean? So I seen him and he did that. I was disappointed, and again, I've never seen him again because of that one show.
I would encourage you to see Nas again live, because I've seen him in recent years, and he's pretty fucking amazing. I mean, he's legendary, and it always looks so crisp to the T, always so clean. He always got the shining watch and the shining chain.
Have you ever seen any really bad shows?
Huh?
Have you ever seen any really bad shows?
Okay, so I can say this. So Smoking Grooves Festival went last year with my couple of homegirls. I mean, we were like, okay, we're going to be out in LA. We're going to stay in West Hollywood.
What, Alley Divine?
Yes. We're going to eat some shrooms. We're going to see all these amazing shows. We're going to, like, vibe the fuck out in Cali, right? So, anyways, we're there, like, all day. I mean, it worked out perfect. We ate our shrooms. We were vibing, having a fucking incredible time until the sun went down. And then it got fucking cold. Because, I mean, if you're in LA enough, you know it's like, can be, as soon as the sun goes down, like, that shit, it can be cold as fuck at night.
Especially if you're by the beach.
For real. So, like, and then, well, the place they did it at was LA State Park, which is, like, near Chinatown. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so, but yeah, like a whole storm rolled in. And mind you, this is like, we've been at the festival for like 10 hours. And like the toilets were disgusting at this point. I mean, it was getting kind of muddy. It was
$1 million
starting to rain a little bit. And like, it don't even fucking rain in LA like that. So like, we were like, anyway, so we were waiting for Erykah Badu. I mean, we had seen, oh my God, India Arie, Miguel,
Jericho.
Jhené Aiko. Huh?
Oh, that's her name. I'm thinking.
Jhené Aiko, yeah. Man, it was like amazing lineup, and we were just like really waiting for we were waiting to go to church to see Erykah Badu. She was late. So Nas performed right before her actually, and this was kind of like my perfect send off after the night, because I remember I was standing, there was a bunch of people sitting on the ground next to me, but I was like, oh no, I'm getting up, I'm rapping every word, I'm like vibing out.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Nas. But then we literally had to make the decision. It was like a serious decision. Do we stay? Do we stay for Erykah Badu?
Right.
Or do we go because we're fucking freezing? Do we try and beat this crowd leaving fucking LA? We left, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were a little conflicted. I had seen her in concert before,
right.
But it was still conflicting because she was kind of like the highlight of like what our shroom day would be. You know what I mean? Because she's
like the grand finale.
Yeah, the grand finale. Man, so yeah, I don't know, but we made the decision, and it was crazy because like a couple of weeks later, I got the email to come on and promote Erykah Badu at Red Rocks June 7th this last summer with 4 tickets. I was like, bitches, we're getting her back. I'm like, it's all good. We got this. I'm like, it's all happening. And and it honestly turned out to be a much better experience, because from what I've seen on Twitter, yes, Badu was late, and then they cut her set.
Ooh.
Yes. And another issue about the Smoking Grooves Fest was the sound was awful.
It was horrible.
So it was like it was just really weird how they had it set up, and it was not good. It was not good. So it worked out well. It worked out. But like, that was shitty. It started to get shitty. That was like, I won't say it was a bad show, but it was like, oh my God, it was getting pretty rough.
Right. It's probably hot.
Nas saved it for me. No, it was freezing. Like by the end of the night.
During the day though, it was probably hot as fuck during the day, cold as night. So you're not taking no jackets or anything. You know what
I was in like this little 2-piece, fucking thighs out and shit, like no bra. Like I was festival fly, and I was looking good. Okay, and then I was fucking freezing. It was miserable. So. Yeah.
I was down in LA kind of like that same time, like a week or two after you guys. Uh-huh. And I kind of went down there for the same thing, to go to a show, but I didn't even fucking make it.
What show was it?
It was, I don't remember the name, but it was like a 2-day festival. It was like the Licks, the Alcoholics. It was Afro, KRS-One, Killer Priest. Like
I saw KRS-One. He was one of my first
bunch of fools. And I started kind of trying to get there, and then I found out it was in Anaheim, which is far as fuck.
Yeah, that's
in traffic. That's just not happening.
You fucked that up.
Hey, it's all good. I still had fun. You know what I mean? I had tons of fun out there. You know, we get it in, but yeah, I was like, fuck it. I always want to go to a show in LA, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that festival, I mean, it was cool. It was definitely cool during the day. I seen, do you listen to Soul Action Radio, Joe K?
I don't.
Oh my God, he's fucking amazing. They call it Eclectic Vibes. Eclectic.
You're gonna have to send me something. I'll have to check it out.
Bro, it's such a vibe. It's really just like mostly beats and like remixes, but like really vibey. I mean, a lot of times when I get off work, sometimes when I'm working, I don't want to listen to people talk. Like, so my Selection Radio is always like a go-to, because it's just like music and vibes, not too much input. You know, you just want to chill. You just want to relax. I'll send you a link.
It's that Cali shit that, you know, with the drop top down shit.
And I was really booming when I seen him on stage. I was actually in line for our merch, because I'm like, all right, y'all, somebody's got to stand in line for merch. Who's going to do it? Because I'm like really big on merch. I'm like very. I'm like, because first of all, it's exclusive.
Yeah.
Most of the time, yes. You won't get it again. You know, like merch has become like something that where I'm like, I'll spend my last $10 on $100. I'll spend. I think
my
the most I've spent.
My roommate's like that. He buys shirts and posters and everything every time. And I'm just like,
I love it because it just like kind of like is like a piece of the experience. You know what I mean? And you get to like, you know, it's like super dope. So I was like, all right, y'all. I'm like, somebody's got to do it. I'm like, I'll fucking do it. So I'm standing in line and I'm booming by myself. And it was so funny. But Joe K was on at the stage and he's doing the, selection radio and he's vibing. And I'm just like, oh, man, I'm like, yes. I'm like, of course Joe K's going to be over here with the vibes while I'm stuck in this merch line looking at the ground like, that shit wavy. Like,
why is that shit wavy?
I remember looking down at the ground and like, I don't usually like trip like visuals like crazy, you know, but like, you know.
You were that day.
Well, I looked at I remember tapping the ground and I'm like, why does it look so soft? And I just started laughing to myself. I'm like, man, I know I can't be the only one that ate some shrooms. So I'm like, it's fine. Like, I'm laughing at the ground, y'all. Let me be.
Nice. Nice.
It was a great festival.
It sounds like it. It sounds like a great experience.
It was a good experience.
That 10-hour shit, though.
Yeah, it was a really long day. We were like, fuck. But there was so many people on the lineup. That's why, like, man, like, I just had to get there early because I was trying to see everybody.
Everybody.
I've been to Coachella once. I went to Coachella in 2014 when Outkast did that string of festivals. That whole, like, they hadn't performed together in like years and years. I was like, fuck it, doing it. And that was probably one of the best festival experiences I've ever had. Like, I've never seen, first of all, Coachella is easily 90 to 100,000 people. Mm-hmm. That's how big it is. It's huge. But I've never seen so many people, like, it was all about the music. I didn't see one fight. I mean, and as many people, drugs, you'd think you'd see some crazy shit.
Right.
Really didn't. It was really like peace, love, and music. It was incredible. Like there were parts of the days where it would kind of be maybe like that 5, 6, 7 o'clock ish time, and there would be like it was like streets of mobs of people. Like everyone was just mobbing the stages trying to get wherever, and I remember feeling like Frogger. And I was trying to get to the fucking bathrooms or the beer garden, and like it's just this like whole wave of traffic of people, and like it's just going both ways.
Yeah, like maneuver it, yeah.
For real. I had a lot of fun though. I had left the people that I went with were much more like into like Fatboy Slim and not Imagine Dragon. You know, just a little bit different of what. Anyways, I had left them to go see Pharrell. Pharrell was headlining a stage. I was like, I'm going to this stage.
Come if you want.
Come find me or whatever, you know. So I'd say this stage probably had about 10,000 people in front of it, right?
Damn.
I'm by myself. I'm like, I'm getting as far front as I fucking possibly can. I'm doing it. Yeah, I mean, this is like, I love doing this shit. This is like my favorite shit to do. Like, I like going to concerts alone for the reason of like moving around, but this was like high level shit, right?
Right.
So at this time, I took. Shout out to Ink Monster. Shout out to my boy Reed. But I had the Red Man, Method Man stickers, right? I had a couple packs of them to like hand out. Uh-huh. So this was how I moved through crowds, is I had stickers. And I'd be like, Red Man, Method Man stickers. I'm like, who wants free stickers? I'm like, Red and Meth stickers. Boom, boom, boom. And I would just... People just wanted them, like, for real. So I'd start throwing them out. I'd start giving it, and it would move the crowd. And I would move my way. And I found my way... damn near to the front of the stage for Pharrell.
Yeah, I give you props on that one. That is fucking smart. It was
wild. And I ended up next to this lovely gay couple, these couple of men. And I start talking to them. It turns out that they live on the Coachella Fairgrounds. So obviously, like, when it's not Coachella, it's actually polo fields and properties. And people live there.
Okay.
These guys get free Coachella tickets every year. They like
God.
just are like, they're like, yeah. I mean, this was when, Happy had came out from Pharrell. 'Cause I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that was, I don't know. It was just so cool. I'm like, what a crazy moment. Like, of all the people that I stand next to, it's just this random, incredibly nice couple that happens to just live here and goes to Coachella every year for free. And they're just like catching
Lucky.
the vibe. I know. It was really
I've never been to like a festival like that. I have to go. I never
highly
have.
recommend it.
I've been
dude.
to like Lollapalooza,
That's really cool. I've been to Riot Fest a couple times in Chicago.
or like they had some 420 shit a couple years ago, like some festival like up on like 88th. It was like E40, Snoop, Warren G, the Dog Pound,
Really?
Quick, yeah, Second and None. It was like all day. It's like it wasn't bad too. It's like $70. Like,
What?
yeah. That was one of those things, like, at the end of the night, you're just like, fuck. Like, I spent so much money. I smoked so much weed. And, like, fuck, I'm tired. And I still got to walk to the car. And that's a mile. Like,
Oh
you
my
know?
God. That's all right. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. I actually we camped there too.
Damn.
And that was really, really fun.
That's the experience.
It
right
was
there.
the experience. We had a really fucking great time. It was really cool.
What was the first concert you ever seen?
The first concert I ever went to was Hanson.
You look like an Umbop fan. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, I was obsessed with Hanson. I think I was like 10, 11 when they were out. But, like I said, like I listened to hip hop, but
Yeah.
I was a teeny bopper too, and I listened to all the things. But then my second show, I upgraded quite a bit. It was the TRL tour.
Okay.
2001 maybe, but it was Destiny's Child, Nelly and the Saint Lunatics, 3LW, Jessica Simpson, and maybe one other person. I'm not sure, but I remember Nelly and the Saint Lunatics came out on fucking dubbed out four-wheelers, and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy.
That's fresh.
But I was young, and it was in Connecticut, in Hartford, so yeah, I still have my ticket stub from that too. And then either right before that or after that was when I saw KRS-One, and that was in Northampton, Massachusetts, in a college town. So it's a college town, a really small venue, and it was really dope. It was like my first like real like boom bap kind of like hip hop show. And my homeboy had he broke his wrist or something because he was like snowboarder, skateboarder, like I don't know, but I remember him rolling up. I remember KRS-One came out. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bah! And I just remember him rolling up, and I'm like, oh, like, this is fucking awesome. I was like, and we were just like sitting there, and we were smoking weed, and the show was really live. It was a really small venue, but yeah.
I think he's dope. Yeah, I've seen him.
I mean, he's a presence. He's like, I mean, he's an OG. Like, there's probably a lot of people, like, they don't give a fuck about KRS-One. But if you know shit about hip hop, you know that he's a big voice. A big voice.
Big time.
Yeah.
That's dope. Man, we're definitely talking about hip hop shit. That's dope. Let's get to you right now.
Oh, shit.
What do you want these people to know about Lizzy Brodie? What do you do? What are your, you know what I mean?
Well,
give them that whole little spiel real quick.
What to know about Lizzy Brodie? Man, I'm just, I'm an all-around dope girl. I'm approachable. I'm relatable. I'm a mother. I aspire to inspire other people. That's why I started the Hustlers Brunch. That's like one of my most passionate little babies that I have,
Okay. What is that? Can you explain that? Talk about it?
So the Hustlers Brunch is a networking brunch for entrepreneurs, business owners, hustlers, dream chasers. I basically wanted to create a space where like-minded people could get together and like share resources and have tough conversations and get inspiration and things like that. So the first Hustlers Brunch was 20 people, and it's grown to about 100.
Nice.
Thank you. And I started to incorporate a live panel. So I had this idea to bring on people who are successful in their field of work and let them share their stories, share their inspiration, let the people attending be able to like ask them anything they want, and just kind of, just centered it around inspiration,
Trying
knowledge,
to soak up that
resource.
knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, you get to a point in life and business, and you just realize that when you are chasing your dreams, the conversation is different. You know what I mean? You can't talk about it with just anybody because,
Right.
I mean, for me personally, there was many years that my family did not understand what I was doing, why the fuck I had to be doing all these things and go all these places and whatever,
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of people that saw my vision and saw who I was trying to be and what I wanted to represent and the things that I wanted to do. And, that's my tribe. Shout out to my tribe, my people that have always supported me, my business partners. But, so the Hustlers Brunch, just giving people, like-minded people, a space to come and share resources and gain inspiration.
Because everyone got something to offer. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And one of my biggest things is always telling people to never be afraid to share your story because you just never know who you can inspire. You don't know what people have been through, and like your little thing that you went through and how you handled it or what you learned from it could be like that one missing piece that somebody needed to hear. So you just never know, always share your story, share your resources, things like that. So
a lot of people don't do that nowadays.
Yeah, it's that ego we were talking about.
A lot of people just want to kind of keep to themselves.
Kill the ego.
Yeah, you need to change that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want all kinds of soldiers. You know what I mean? A couple special forces. You know what I mean? A couple fools with mind detectors. You need all kinds of shit. Fools with radios. You know what I mean? Fuck. You can't just be.
You got the walkie-talkie, bro?
Yeah, you can't be one soldier in a war or 10 soldiers, right? You ain't Al Qaeda. You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny.
So what kind of stuff you got coming up? You got anything coming up? What kind of goals you're gonna? New year's almost over, so it's time to set some new goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely already in 2023 for sure.
Already.
I mean, I'm really focused on continuing to be an amazing promoter with AEG. Like, I'm thrilled to be working with them. Shout out to Adam Stroll. Shout out to Lachlan. So just continuing to grow with them, and I'm definitely planning another Hustlers Brunch. I like to keep that nice and exclusive because we don't oversaturation makes the price go down. And just continuing to build my website, which is lizzybrodie.com. So it's like a music blog, culture blog, lifestyle blog.
A little bit of everything,
A little bit of everything. I have writers on the site, so there's a lot of dope coverage happening and interviews coming up. And another season of the Hustlers Brunch podcast. I want to get that done. And
is that the YouTube?
That is actually on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio.
What's the YouTube one we were talking about earlier?
Oh, Lessons in Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So that's actually another thing that I got a lot I want to do. But yeah, I have 33 episodes of Lessons in Hip Hop. I basically have the last 3 to drop, and we could just call this the first bundle. I don't know, because I haven't really done it in seasons. They're just really short and sweet little episodes. I've done most of them. I've brought on guests to do their own lesson, their song choice, and I definitely want to keep growing that, doing more with it, and building.
Who were some of the first songs you did?
Oh man. Oh, definitely Gangstar.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Gangster Guru's the shit.
The fucking shit. He taught me so much. It's best to sit back and observe with Kuth. We all must meet our moment of truth. That shit has shaped me as a person. That line alone. So I definitely talk about that. I know Sky's the Limit was one. Dedication, Nipsey. I know I did a Beanie Siegel, Feel It in the Air, and I really, 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 really love that episode because if you know, you know.
Right.
If you know, what the fuck he's really talking about, you know. And I just, that song has always been incredible to me. So, yeah, so Lessons in Hip Hop for sure.
Yeah, definitely sounds interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send you the video.
Yeah, for sure. What I was going to ask you, give me some of your... I need some of your favorite songs. Like, if you're on an island and you got a CD with, you know what I mean? Say 10 songs. You got to give me,
The Rock Wilder, Red Man and Method Man. Worst Comes to Worst, Dilated Peoples. Moment of Truth, Gangstar. Discipline, Gangstar. Story to Tell, Biggie Smalls.
Okay. Got some good
How's
ones.
It Going Down, DMX. Just throwing like the whole Victory Lap album. Yeah, but
the whole Victory Lap album.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have quite a few playlists where, like, if you really wanted to know my music taste, you could listen to that playlist and you would hear it all. But those are, for example, like some songs like Lex Coops, Bemis Benz, Lost Boys.
Lost Boys are my favorite groups of all time, too.
One of my favorite fucking songs. Like, I will always rap the fuck out of that song anytime it comes on anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
the whole album.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. When did that come out? I want to say like 96?
92 or 93, maybe?
You're right.
Maybe.
I actually want to Google that really quick.
See, I want to say like 93, 94. Legal Drug Money was the shit, though. So when we're talking about that era,
yeah,
that was one of my albums. Gangstar Hard to Earn was one of my albums. Mobb Deep's first album was like in that whole time period. Selly Cell, Killer Cali. Those are like, and Tupac and the double album.
96.
Yeah.
96
Okay.
it was. Yeah, DJ Premier is my #1 favorite producer of all time. I actually met him once.
I almost got in a fight at his concert.
Was it at the Bluebird, the one with the band?
No, this is at that same place where I was telling you where we seen
what is this spot?
right next to Vinyl. It's the block. If you're going toward the Capitol, it's the block before Vinyl, and it's right there on the right hand side. That's where we had seen him. I seen him there. I seen Dilated People there. I seen Twista there.
Oh wow, that's cool. I've never seen Twista.
Seen Red and Meth there. Gang of Fools.
So, Guru passing away. When did he pass away?
It was a while ago.
13 maybe. But it was tough for me because I really, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I was trying to go.
You're cool.
It was tough for me because I realized I would never see him in concert.
Had you ever seen him?
No. And after he passed away, that was when I started to see a lot of concerts. Like, I was not just going to, like I was going to any show I could go to. And I kind of have it's become a thing for me because this is why I'm like, go to the fucking concert. Because you just, man, like, that, being able to experience some of your favorite music live like that is so dope, and it is something that will be special to you forever. Like, these are memories I'll never forget, you know what I mean? So when he passed, I was super sad that I would never see him in concert. I started going crazy. So when DJ Premier came here with a band, this was at the Bluebird, I obviously had to go, but they performed Gangstar songs, and I mean, it was like the band, and then they're like letting Guru's vocals play, and Primo's doing his fucking thing, and it was like, I may have cried, I don't think I did, but it was so nostalgic. It was like, this is the closest I'm ever gonna. This is it right here. This is people next to me, strangers, people I don't know. Everyone's rapping the fucking song. I'm like, like, he's here, you know what I mean? Like, and so I actually was able to shout out to Johnny Schumann, Johnny Denver, because I was like, I got this vinyl. I literally bought a vinyl on the way to the concert. I'm like, do you think you can have it signed for me or whatever? And I was just thinking he would take it backstage, get it signed, and bring it back to me. But he brought me downstairs, and I got to meet Primo, and I told him all of this.
That's dope.
I told him how I felt and how this show was just incredible and how it touched me, and I was just so thankful for it because, I mean, excuse me, it had to be fucking said. Like, you got to give people their fucking flowers. And so, yeah, and then he took a picture of me, and it's one of my favorite. He signed my vinyl, and I'm like, he's cool as fuck, man. But, like, one thing about producers is, like, and even with rappers too, artists, like, I like to know your signature sound. Like, with Dom Kennedy, I always know it's Dom Kennedy. You know what I mean? But, like, if Quick produced it, I always know.
The Christmas bells.
If Swiss Beats produced it, I always know. And I love that about it. And same with Primo. I mean, and he's he's really produced some of the most classic, legendary,
Oh yeah.
forever. I mean, Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album is like one of my favorite, and he produced like almost everything on that shit.
That's some good ass shit. Now don't hate me,
Sorry. Oh shit.
but I've seen Gangstar like 3 times.
It's okay. I
I've
don't.
seen him at Red Rocks with Guru
So
and
dope.
Premier, and then seen him in a couple times at cervantes.
That's so fire.
And this is cervantes days when you just open the back door, just walk in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or just walk
cool as
in. You know what I mean? Are you cold?
Yeah, I'm a little. I think I just shivered. I don't know. I'm like, I'm all like, oh my god. I'm like.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. You're funny. Yeah, like
emotional.
Guru's one of my favorites, man, all
The
time.
best. And you always know if it's Guru. He was the way he. Yeah, he was a lyrical fucking assassin.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
My homie don't like him. My homie says he's whack as fuck,
Not
and
for
I argue with
everybody.
him every time.
No,
like,
you
you're
can't.
tripping, homie. He hates.
I have a friend who thinks Jay-Z is whack. And I'm
I
like,
think
but
Jay-Z's. I think he's first album classic. The what's the other one that I really like? The compilation album where he has everyone on it. The Dynasty.
Oh, that's actually a
Really
really great
good.
album. Yeah.
Everything else is
Ah!
Blueprint.
Okay, but you can't say he's whack. He's obviously not
Right.
fucking whack.
But his first album goes.
I mean, it's it's not for everybody. Everything
Yeah.
can't be for everybody, and that's okay. And namaste.
I would get into it, but I see you're a Jay-Z fan, so
Yes,
I'm gonna let you slide on this one.
Okay, no, you're gonna let me live on this one because that's where I'm like.
No, I give him props. I don't know about him nowadays though. Like nowadays, he's like too
Yeah,
bougie.
I mean,
he's like the Don Dada.
like I said, it's like I cannot stand Kanye West right now and really don't resonate with a lot of his newer music.
Mm-hmm.
But that College Dropout album, I will play it front to back. And I will fucking ride for that album forever. You know
I
what
concur
mean?
with
It's
you.
just like that's how music can be sometimes, So it's all good, you gotta just be accepting, but
People grow, people change,
They
and
do.
we're changing as well, and the times are changing, and you know what I mean. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Like even like I've done quite a few albums like Colorado Cats, and even the way recording 10 years ago is not the way today. Today's a whole different ballgame.
I mean, technology has changed
Yeah,
lot.
we're adding effects.
Yeah.
We're adding fucking different, rhythms and adding auto tune and everything. It's a whole new. I could record a motherfucker that could spit fucking 16, and then dubs and all that. But as far as you know what I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Everything's ever changing.
Yep, that's true.
We just gotta try to adapt. It's kind of hard though when you're getting older. It really kind of is.
I know, and especially when you're kind of attached to
Certain
old
shit.
school
Yeah.
ways of things.
We don't like shit when it changes.
Low key, I would still keep a checkbook if I could. I can't. It's like I think you have to pay for checks now. But I used to like that. I used to enjoy the writing down, the looking at it, the tracking it myself.
Everything
and
is so like.
I know. It's like everything's just done for you now, kind of.
It's crazy. Well, hell yeah. Well, shoot, man. We've been talking for an hour and a half.
Okay. Conversing.
Yeah, just converse about this and that. Good times, you know what I mean? Well, shoot, you got any kind of final words or any kind of final thoughts before we close this?
Oh,
You want to kick a freestyle? Lizzy Brodie.
Nope, Lizzy Brodie is
I
not
get
on the
to-
mic like that tonight.
I get the avocado. I don't know.
No.
I'll stop. I already know.
Let it go. No.
Hey, she said, don't quit your day job.
I don't know, man. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode, listening to us talk about all of our hip hop thoughts and stories and memories and experiences. And, tap in with me at Lizzy Brodie, LIZZYBRODIE, everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok.
Everywhere.
www.lizzybrodie.com, www.thehustlersbrunch.com. Definitely tap in with me on that if you are an entrepreneur or looking to be a dream chaser, hustler of the sort.
Trying to network.
Of course. And, my final words are going to be, Let me run it back. Okay. Let your potential be your motivation.
All right.
That is my, like, I said it on the Life is Dope podcast. It stuck with me for years. It's kind of like part of being, part of the Hustlers brunch.
For sure.
It's just like, you can achieve it if you want to. So
I'm going to tell them, being that winter's kind of basically here, don't eat yellow snow.
Definitely do not. I actually had to just teach my daughter about fucking fresh snow and dirty snow. I'm like,
you had a lesson. You got a little class, right?
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming by. It was definitely a pleasure. We definitely got to do it again. Talk some more hip hop. You know what I mean?
I'd be happy to be like a guest on. We bring a couple more people on here and see what type of debates we could get going.
That's some shit I want to do. And what we were kind of talking about is like doing like a podcast with 3 or 4 people where we do like the best MC, best rapper, then best group, best trio, best, because it all kind of breaks down in like when it's not all balled together. You know what I mean? When you can separate Wu-Tang from fucking Outkast.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Boot Camp Click, like they're a good group like that, or D12, like, you know what I mean? It makes it easier, and it's not like, no, Jay-Z's the best. No.
I mean, yeah, hip hop has so many parts now at this point of its great age, and it's you can study it and break it down into sections and do all
make it easy. You know what I mean? Have some good debates, because there's a lot. I mean, everyone, it remains to be seen.
Well, I'm here for the hip hop debates.
I got you. We're gonna give you a holler, man. Well, like I said, check her out on her social media. Give her a holler. You know what I mean? Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
We are out of here. You can find us on all platforms. Same stuff. Subscribe, share, spread the word. Let your friends know. We got that dopeness, that hot dial on fire. We out of here. Peace.
Bye.